So, um,
True.
speaking of sounding like an idiot, Kristi Noem is all over the place. She literally will, I mean, she will take any show that asks her to come. Actually, I should have called her to come on this show. She seems like she's going to go on any show now. It doesn't matter because she is going to defend shooting that little puppy in the face.
Yes, she is.
Something that she wrote about in her book. What's it called?
I would not know ever.
Never Go Back.
What?
And so she wrote a passage in the book. I'm sure everybody has heard about it, where there was this puppy that Cricket was the name of the dog. Cute little dog. We saw pictures of him all over the internet. And it was not behaving to Kristi Noem's satisfaction. So she decided, because quote unquote in the book, she hated that dog.
Yeah.
She shot it and killed it.
Yeah.
Same thing with a goat, apparently. She killed a goat as well. But she was on Face the Nation. She was on pretty much every show, like I said earlier, but I do have a couple of clips from her on Face the Nation. She's a difficult one to listen to. Her voice just drives me insane, and I think it's maybe because of the words that are coming out of her mouth that are associated with that voice probably is the worst part of it.
Right.
But here she is on Face the Nation. This is the first clip. This is her defending the murder of Cricket.
In a part of a chapter called Bad Day to Be a Goat. And then after you shot the dog, you, quote, realized another unpleasant job needed to be done. Walking back up to the yard, I spotted our Billy goat. You said he smelled and would chase kids, so you took him to the gravel pit and shot him twice. How do you justify that? How was the goat a threat? And I'm asking you this because it seems like you're celebrating the killing of the animals.
Not at all. This has been a story that my political opponents have tried to use against me for years. It's well known in South Dakota, and it has been to other people. And I want the truth to be out there and to understand that these animals were attacking my children, that we live on a farm and a ranch, and that tough decisions are made many times. And it is to protect people. And I'll tell you, the extremism of other people and how they have attacked me politically, I understand it. They're doing the same thing to me that they do to Donald Trump every day.
I mean, again, this is their whole MO, is they find a way when the fingers are pointed at them is just to point them right back at you and say, no, this is not me. This is you. This is my political opponent. But I mean, shooting goats, shooting dogs, that's not something to me that I look at where somebody goes, this is a tough decision for me. To me, you take sort of some kind of weird, demented pleasure in that, because I don't care if I didn't like a pet or a dog. There's no fucking way I'm going to shoot it and kill it.
Yeah, most people would take the puppy. It's not even a dog, it's a puppy, to obedience school.
Yeah.
You take them back to the shelter so it can find its forever home. Yep. Give it to a friend.
Yep.
They don't even want to put dogs down if they bite someone, right? It's like maybe a couple times, but Kristi is what it means to be a good Republican. Like, she's a good Republican. You're only as good to them as what they can get from you. And when they can't get what they want from you, you're expendable, just like Cricket was expendable. Yep. That's why women, expendable, die from sepsis, miscarry in the bathroom. They don't care. They're still laughing about Paul Pelosi being hit with a hammer. Like, they want to be the grossest, the nastiest. That you just said it. If Donald Trump stopped being a racist pig and started talking about policy, they would start booing him.
Right. Do you remember in his rallies, every once in a while when he was doing his rallies, when he was president running again against Joe Biden, he would bring up the COVID vaccine and go, you know what, the COVID and they would boo him. They would start booing him based on the COVID vaccine.
They're like, this is not what we're paying you for.
Yeah, this is not what you taught us. What are you doing? So it's crazy. And, like I said, and Kristi Noem too, by the way, is not somebody that strikes me as somebody that went to an animal shelter to get this dog. She probably paid thousands of dollars for that dog.
She could have dropped it at a shelter. A shelter would have taken it. They got no kill shelters. Like who does that on their own? It's just such a crazy thing. It's like, it's psychotic. Like,
it's something she takes pleasure in. And in fact, in the book, the way it was read, it was almost like, I'm a badass. Watch this passage in this book. And now all of a sudden, she wants to backtrack everything that she wrote in her own fucking book.
Is she backtracking? Or is she just saying like the dog?
She's about to because,
she's blaming the victim. She's like, the dog is biting everybody and the mailman and the fire.
Lana, you were right to question me on that one, but on this next clip, you're going to find out that she was not backtracking when she talked about the meeting that she had with Kim Jung Un that she stated in her book.
You write about lessons learned in leadership, and you bring up some specific incidents I want to ask you about. You talk about meeting some world leaders, and one specific one, quote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jung Un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all. Did you meet Kim Jung Un?
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. And I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went.
Keep in mind, the question was, did you meet Kim Jong Un? And we are 20 seconds into a yes or no question.
Forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days and that those edits will be in place and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong Un. That's what you're saying.
Updated version.
I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I think I've talked extensively in this book about my time serving in Congress, my time as governor, before governor, some of the travels that I've had. I'm not going to talk about my specific meetings with world leaders. I'm just not going to do that. This anecdote shouldn't.
She talked about it in her book.
And as soon as it was brought to my attention, I made sure that was adjusted. So the book is not released until Tuesday, and so we're doing all that we can to make sure that those changes are made, and I'm going to continue to focus on what this book is and the blueprint that it lays out for the American citizen on all.
First of all, I love the name of her book is Never Go Back, I believe, and it turns out she's going back to edit the fucking book that she just read or she just wrote.
She looks like her face is very painful. Like
she's
like it hurts. That doesn't
I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to comment on her appearance, but she does seem.
I'm a woman. Her face.
You could go ahead and do that, but this is another one of these chicks that had an affair with this Corey Lewandowski. How is he pulling down all these?
Wait, excuse me?
Had by the way, these are the family values people. Cheated on her husband with Corey Lewandowski. So did Hope Hicks had an affair with this guy. I don't understand it. But I think there's a nice little pushback here. So let's finish off the clip.
All of the things in the background and stories of my life, but also what I think that needs to be identified in politics and what's broken today. I talk about how broken the money game is, how broken it is that we've got consultants that are getting rich off of elected officials, and then how fake some elected politicians are. Every single person in this country wants someone in elected office that's a human being that doesn't say they're perfect. I take responsibility for that being in the book.
Maybe there is no pushback. You know what? Actually, I can't listen to her voice anymore. But
leadership.
That's I don't know. That's upsetting. DA says. Well, first he says she was my neighbor and volunteered to pet sit my dog every day for the past year. Now I know why. A killer goat. Yeah. No, the goat.
Goes running around killing her kids.
Yeah, Cody's like the fucking Jason Voorhees of the neighborhood, going around just killing people. She wrote about a specific meeting with a world leader. Right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. And then, of course, he tops it off when she looks like Jennifer Aniston on crack, which that one extremely accurate.
It's very.
But in one of these interviews, Lana, too, I went back and I looked, and I couldn't find it. But I could have found it in numerous other interviews. But she did the same thing where she goes, "This is what the media likes to do. The mainstream media. What they like to do is they like to take my words. They like to do this. I like to do that."
They're her words.
She acts like she doesn't know these stories were in the book. The Kim Jung Un story, the dog
no one's
story.
Making it up. She put it there.
And I'm almost positive there's an audio version of this book, which means she fucking read the words out loud. And now she's saying, "Oh, that should have never been in the book."
Right.
I'm still not clear as to why the Kim Jong Un story should be pulled out of the book, other than that she's never met him, but she won't admit that.
Right, because what's his face? The president of France has already said, "No, I didn't meet with her."
Yeah,
that's why she had to change that one, because he's like, "No, we never met."
No, but she's met many world leaders, and she doesn't talk about those meetings anymore, I guess. I mean, but see, Lana, and that's what drives me nuts. Shouldn't somebody with even half intelligence look at these people and go, "That just doesn't sound right"? I mean, these people are just trying to make me look stupid.
But their supporters are dumb. I mean, I looked at Trump's vice president short list of picks. You got the dog goat killer.
Yep.
You got Tim Scott that thinks women can be pregnant for 52 weeks, has a blow up doll, thinks that there's no racism. His gums forever, and like he freaking it's like his head is always up Trump's ass. Then you have like Elise, what's her name?
Stefanik. Yeah.
Right. Who the replacement theory's her jam. Then you have Rubio, who's spineless, who Trump talked about his ears, his sweating, how he drinks water.
Little Marco.
Little Marco, but now he too is kissing his ass. And then you have Burgum. Who the hell is Burgum running around South Dakota like banning Black history?